What's up, guys? As most of you know, Counter-Strike is mainly based around the usage of rifles, as they are the most deadly weapons in the game. In this video, I'm going to show you how to basically use each rifle, its recoil pattern, its ammo, and its accuracy. Understanding how to basically use and maneuver these rifles will help you stay alive, get kills, and rank up. There are 11 rifles in CSGO, but we will only be covering 8 in this video. The M4A1S. In-game, the weapon's capacity and reserve capacity is reduced compared to its predecessor. At 25 rounds per magazine and 75 rounds in reserve, which is the lowest out of all assault rifles. Its rate of fire is slightly lowered at 600 RPM, slightly lower than the average assault rifle fire rate, or 667. The M4A1S is equipped with a silencer, which is attached when receiving the weapon, and can be manually detached and reattached by pressing the secondary fire key. The time taken for detaching and reattaching the silencer is greatly increased, so it is unadvised to do it in the midst of combat. The silencer is best kept on because removing it increases recoil and decreases accuracy, making it less effective overall than its non-silence counterpart, the M4A4. One reason to do so, however, is that the silencer noticeably increases the length of the weapon, which may make stealth around corners slightly more difficult. With the silencer on, the weapon has a quiet firing sound, low recoil, and high accuracy. It also doesn't fire tracers. These properties make the M4A1S suitable for long-range tap firing. The max audible distance of silenced firing sound the M4A1S is 800 units. The SG-553. In-game, the SG serves as the successor of the Krieg 552 from previous titles. Like the Krieg 552, the SG-553 is equipped with a telescopic sight. The player can enter the scope by using secondary fire. The player will leave the scope if they use secondary fire again or switch weapons. While scoped in, the player's view is zoomed in by ×3. Recoil is significantly lowered, accuracy is increased, and the player's movement speed is reduced considerably. Unlike the Krieg 552, there is no longer a fire rate penalty for using the scope. The scope now also provides a HUD overlay of the scope, including an aiming reticle, giving the impression of the player actually aiming down the scope. Spraying for an extended burst while using the scope causes the scope dot to gradually disappear. The SG-553 has slightly less base damage than the AK-47, but it's the only weapon with 100% armor penetration, while the AK-47 has 77.5% armor penetration, meaning that it deals more damage to armored enemies than the AK-47, and is also the highest of any assault rifle. The SG-553 is one of the few guns capable of scoring fatal headshots regardless of armor. The unscoped SG-553 has the highest first shot accuracy of any unscoped assault rifle. It also has a high firing rate and a short reload time. The SG-553 has the slowest movement speed out of all assault rifles. It is slightly more expensive than the AK-47, making it the most expensive assault rifle on the terrorist side. In the Counter-Strike series, the Steyr Scout is named Schmidt Scout and often simply referred to as Scout by the majority of players, as so called by the weapon's entity name. The name change is likely due to copyright reasons, as Steyr is a brand name. In Condition 0 and deleted scenes, the Scout model is based on the Steyr Scout Elite. In source, the first-person model appears to be that of the first-generation Steyr Scout, distinguishable by how the scope is mounted towards the front of the rifle. The Schmidt Scout is chambered with 7.62 x 5.1 mm NATO. The Scout is a cheaper sniper rifle option available to both teams. This weapon is not available in assassination mode. In fact, is the only weapon that cannot be purchased by either team in assassination. The primary advantage of this weapon is increased mobility when wielding, which increases the user's speed from 250 to 260 units per second. That is faster than the pistols, the SMGs, and even the knife, making it an excellent weapon when fast mobility is needed for escaping from enemies or exploding bomb sites. Another advantage of this weapon is that it's fairly cheap to purchase. A team who won a pistol round can quickly afford this weapon if that player switches to use a sniper rifle on early rounds until they can afford a superior sniper rifle such as the Magnum sniper rifle. It also has high accuracy even when unscoped, which minimally affects the accuracy, although not reliable tactics to do so. The user may carry 100 rounds in total, that is 10 rounds already in the weapon and 90 rounds in reserve, and due to slow rate of fire, it's very unlikely for the player to run out of ammo. Finally, this weapon is quiet, which makes it an excellent choice for stealth-minded players who wish to attack enemies at longer ranges without being detected. In-game, the M4A4 holds 30 rounds and has 90 rounds in reserves. The M4A4 has high accuracy and moderate recoil, making it good for firing bursts. However, spraying is not always recommended unless the enemy is in close proximity. At longer ranges, it is better to burst fire or tap fire. In medium and close ranges, the M4A4 can spray bullets at the torso or stomach and quickly deliver lots of accurate shots. Crouching can quickly and easily compensate for the early spray recoil. Although, headshots from the M4A4 are not always lethal. Aiming for the head is still recommended, more so at long range. A headshot might kill if an already injured opponent, or at least deliver enough damage that another body shot can finish. Compared to the M4A1S, the M4A4 offers a larger magazine and reserve capacity, making it more suitable for a defensive role where more ammo is needed. The FAMAS is one of the two weapons in Counter-Strike series with a burst firing mode, the other being the Glock 18. The player receives this weapon in full automatic mode and can switch to the burst mode with the alternate fire key, and can switch back to semi-automatic fire by using the alternate fire key again. In Global Offensive, switching to fire mode makes a distinctive click noise audible to all players. Burst fire slightly increases the rate of fire and slightly increases accuracy and decreases recoil during the burst in later games, but increases the delay between individual bursts, trigger pulls. This makes it ideal for situations where the enemy is in a known position and can be estimated with a single burst, reducing the impact of the delay. The FAMAS deals low damage for an assault rifle and has a smaller magazine size at 25 rounds, compared to 30 rounds of other assault rifles. It also has a longer reload time than the other assault rifles. Overall, despite its unique features, the FAMAS is best used as an eco-round CT assault rifle and is usually discarded in buy rounds for more powerful weapons. Like with the Glock 18, bots never use the burst fire mode and will fire in automatic mode unless the FAMAS was already set to burst before it was picked up. However, should they use the alternative 3 burst mode, they appear notably overpowered at a long range, even in easy mode, due to their excellent overall accuracy. The AUG. It is equipped with a low power scope for medium range engagement. The player can enter the scope by using secondary fire. The player will leave the scope if they use secondary fire again, or scoped in or switches weapons. The AUG has an average rate of fire, on par with the AK-47 and M4A1S, and deals moderate damage. In Global Offensive, the AUG is able to instantly kill a full health helmet-wearing player with one headshot at point-blank range. However, because the damage is 100 flat, any additional range will cause damage drop-off and make defeat impossible. The AUG has good accuracy and moderately strong recoil. It has the highest first shot accuracy out of all assault rifles when scoped in. Recoil is strong when fired full auto when unscoped, but the first few shots have controllable recoil, so firing a burst of 3 is viable. The AUG has a long reload time and is moderately heavy. In games prior to Global Offensive, using the scope provides a 1.5 times zoom towards the crosshair, but lowers the rate of fire and increases the recoil. In Global Offensive, while scoped in, the player's view is zoomed by 3 times. The recoil is lowered significantly, accuracy is increased, there is no longer a fire rate penalty, and the player's movement speed is reduced considerably. The scope now also provides a HUD overlay of the scope, including an aiming reticle, giving the impression of the player actually aiming down the scope, whilst using the scope for spraying an extended burst cause the scope dot to gradually disappear. It is highly popular with new players due to its easy-to-learn scope and shoot policy. In competitive matches, it is used alongside the M4s due to its accuracy and damage, despite its higher price and lower reload times. In-game, the AK-47 is a powerful assault rifle exclusive to the terrorists. It is one of the most popular and efficient guns in the game, known for its power, range, and cheap price. The AK-47 can kill a helmeted player with one shot to the head, something which its CT counterparts, M4A1 Carbine, M4A4, and M4A1S cannot do. Even without headshots, it is able to bring down an enemy in 4 chest and arm shots instead of 5 with the CT counterparts. It has high first shot accuracy and a low damage drop-off, and a moderately fast reload. In Global Offensive, the first 8 to 9 bullets in its spray pattern have little to no side-to-side recoil, making compensation somewhat simple. The AK-47's only major disadvantages are its inaccuracy after multiple shots and high recoil. In Global Offensive, the upwards recoil in the first 2 shots of its spray pattern is quite strong, requiring more mouse movement to compensate. After that, the recoil moves strong side-to-side sway, which is harder to compensate. Its CT counterparts are easier to control in this regard. Its rate of fire is lower than its CT counterparts, and is also fairly heavy, slowing down the player more. It is also one of the loudest rifles and has a very distinctive firing noise, allowing enemies to easily identify users of the AK-47. The Galil AR is a terrorist rifle that has replaced the IDF Defender in Counter-Strike Global Offensive. The Galil AR is modeled after the Galil Ace-22, an Israeli assault rifle manufactured by Israeli Weapon Industries. The Ace-22 is the medium barrel version of the IWI Galil Ace series, produced since 2008. Its in-game name comes from a different weapon in the same family, the Galil AR. In-game, the Galil AR costs $2,000, making it the cheapest terrorist assault rifle. It has a high rate of fire but moderately strong recoil. It holds 35 rounds in its magazine, 5 more than most other assault rifles, and has a good penetration power. Its primary disadvantage is that it cannot instantly kill targets at full health and armor with a single headshot, and accuracy is somewhat low at long range. In general, the Galil AR is a good choice for an eco-round assault rifle, but is not very good for buy rounds. Alright, these are the rifles that we will be covering in this video. Let me know in the comments below if this video helped you to get a better understanding of how to use each weapon, and when each weapon is its most useful. Obviously, just being great with rifles won't make you great at the game. You still have to hone in on your other fundamentals like pistols and grenade usage. In the next video, I will be covering more rifles such as the AWP, which is one of the strongest and hardest roles to play in Counter-Strike. Best of luck to everyone trying to rank up today, and remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks guys.